Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kayla. This is my 4-month bump date with baby number 2. Baby boy number 2, that is. And welcome to my channel. That's the update for this month. So baby is officially the size of an avocado. I'm actually 17 weeks filming this, but the clip of my bump at the end was at 16 weeks exactly. So I wanted to get a full feel of the full 4-month pregnant bump. And so I took that last week, and I'll just add that in at the end. But I'm definitely popped, so I definitely, I've shown from about, week 1 on, week 3 on when you find out. But now, this last month I've definitely popped, where I look, suspiciously pregnant, where if you didn't know me, you'd be like, maybe she's pregnant. I definitely look much more pregnant than I did at this point with my first baby. I know that comes with the territory of having multiple children. And so I feel like I'm about 10 weeks further along looking at this point now with this pregnancy than I was with Connor, which is okay. We have somewhat decided on a name for this baby. We're sticking with the K and C theme name because, I'm Kayla, my husband is Cody, we have Connor, and this baby would be really left out if we didn't have a C or a K sounding theme name. So we've got narrowed down to like 3, or maybe even 2, honestly. It's been very challenging for us, and we're just going to have the baby tell us when he comes out. So it'll be quite a while before we announce his name. But this month has brought so many fun things. It's probably been my favorite month of pregnancy. So far, I'm in the paradise trimester, the second trimester, because the first trimester is this trimester of just nausea and craziness. Second one is paradise. Third is just you're so big and uncomfortable. So I'm enjoying paradise, and the morning sickness stopped for me this time at about 15.5 weeks along. And for Connor's, it was 14.5 weeks along. So that's good. I was hoping it wasn't going to be too much further, because with each pregnancy, it just lasts longer and it's a little worse. But I was so grateful to finish that. I just could not stand just opening my fridge, just having that smell just hit my nose, and I felt so sick. So I was finally ready to just start feeling more like myself and have the fog lift. So that has happened, and I'm very excited to share that. I felt movement at 13 weeks and 6 days along. And for Connor's pregnancy, I felt my very first movement at 14 weeks and 6 days along, so it's very interesting seeing the differences there. But I felt it the same way I did the first time for Connor. So I was laying sideways in bed, kind of like, not crunched up, but kind of like hunched over a little bit, and that, pressure just from my abdomen crunched, I could feel the baby just be like, get off me. And I was like, oh my goodness, that's the baby. I know exactly what that feels like. And it is just a miracle to God to be able to feel that and experience that as a woman in my uterus. I'm creating and sustaining life like every second, and it's incredible. To be able to feel that is the greatest joy. I don't take for granted any kicks, and I cherish every single movement and kick I feel. And it's such a peace of mind. I really am grateful. So when I started feeling movement and still felt sick, I was like, oh no. I don't need to be sick anymore. I know the baby's okay. I can feel him. Please, let me feel better. That was only, about a week and a half after that. And then that went away. At my 12-week appointment checkup, I was 2 pounds up from my starting pregnancy weight from this time. And at the 16-week appointment I was 8 pounds up. So I'd gained 6 pounds between the last appointment and now, and I don't know how accurate that is because I had a lot of layers of clothes on, and I just had a big meal, so I mean, it's all relative, but I was just kind of like, I don't think that's pretty accurate, but I mean, it is what it is, it's all relative. So that's something interesting. It was a good appointment, baby was healthy. I'll get to the ultrasound here in a second. Wonderful ultrasound. And my blood pressure looks great as always. It's like 102/64. We finally got the genetic testing back, which tests for trisomy 18, 21, and 13, and the sex chromosomes. So officially baby boy really is a boy. So we checked that for sneak peek genetic testing and 2 ultrasounds. So I think it's 100% sure a boy. And the baby's healthy in all fronts. I was so grateful. We waited about 5 weeks for those results, which is absurd. Don't even get me started on that, but we got it back. Everything's healthy, that's all that matters. And I think Trisme 18 is the one that's Down syndrome, and the other ones, no, Trisme 21 is Down syndrome, and 18 and 13 are the fatal ones, I believe. So praise the Lord, the baby is healthy. We also got the spina bifida results back. You can take that at 16 weeks along, and it's like a blood test that tests for a certain hormone that's given off from spina bifida, and that's clear. So I got that back like 2 days after my 16-week appointment, so I guess I can add that on here because it's technically the month 5 one. But baby's healthy on all fronts. We are so grateful to God. Many other differences. I have a few more headaches this time than I did with Connor's pregnancy at this point, but that might be just because of lack of sleep and chasing around Connor a lot. My hips are starting to kind of like pop funnily, or like my pelvis in the back like almost feels like it dislocates. And it did that at the very end of Connor's pregnancy, but it's already starting for this pregnancy, so that's scary. My energy levels have not quite still come back yet. I'm waiting for that because this is supposed to be the paradise trimester where everything's just rainbows and sunshine. And it's getting better, but I get so worn out, and it scares me how quickly I get worn out, so I have to rest a lot. We weaned Connor after Christmas. I think I mentioned that in the last video. So he was 18 months old when we weaned him, so I'm going to get a break between now and next pregnancy. And now the ultrasound. I'm thrilled to announce with 95% certainty that this baby does not have clubbed feet. And to say that is a joy is an understatement. I mean, we are ecstatic just to experience, even though we have another boy, like a total different experience for newborn and young child life for this baby. Like no cast, no, I don't have to go to appointment after appointment, spend 3 hours in a vinegar bath at 5 a.m., 4 a.m. on a Wednesday to take his cast off every week. I can do the newborn snuggles where they're just so tiny in your arms, and just do a little newborn scrunch. I can have him wear any clothes he wants. I can give him a bath anytime, no braces, no sleepless, extreme fussiness and extreme sleepless nights. It's just going to be the greatest thing I have ever experienced. I've never experienced that. The normalcy, to get that, and the people who say it's not a big deal, well, now being on this side, it is a big deal. Like, I see what I've been through and how I don't have to go through that again. Yes, it is a big deal. And the ultrasound techs that we had, for the 16-week appointment, she was extremely unwilling to work with us. But we were not going to leave that gender ultrasound until we saw his feet. And once the ultrasound tech realized that, she was very helpful, reluctantly. And so with almost certainty, the feet look normal. They can't fully confirm until the anatomy scan, which is on leap day. I think I'll be like 19 weeks and 6 days, or 20 weeks exactly on that day. But we saw the feet. They look great. So we're not concerned, because at this point with Connor, it was very apparent his left foot was clubbed, and it was. So I'm just like, the feeling leaving that ultrasound is so different than anything I've ever experienced. It's like, oh, this is a nice feeling. Like, wow, okay, this is different. I'm not used to this. Like, from Connor, the second we noticed something was wrong, like that feeling, anyone who has children with needs or different things they've overcome that you find out in ultrasounds, the feeling like once you learn about your child's, challenges or something that's wrong, that looms over your head constantly, and it never leaves your mind, and it's a constant cloud. No matter how much you try to forget, be positive, and it just looms over you, and it's just a shadow, and it's in the back of your mind. And so each ultrasound that was obviously not changed, once we knew Connor had club feet, it was no different, but it was just every time leaving it felt like we had bad news all over again. And it's just the worst feeling ever as a first-time mom, any kind of mom, and the lack of support sometimes we got from certain people, and it was the hardest thing we've ever gone through, honestly, as a couple and as a family. And just to have that already just lift off our shoulders, it's like I can do this And that makes it also worth it. And it's like, okay, I'm actually okay with not having a girl because this makes up for it and more. Like, I get to have this experience, and which is just a normal experience, and I'm so excited. Oh, it's like having being a mom all over again for the first time. It's just so exciting. And I hope Connor won't mind having to wear his braces, you know, for much longer, and then the baby not, you know, because Connor will be wearing his braces at night until he's 6. So how's he going to feel like once he turns like 4, like, why do I have to do this every night and he doesn't? So it's like, I don't know. You know, in most places in the country they stop wearing it at 3, but Connor, where we go in his specific case, he has to wear it till he's 6. So he will definitely realize, like, wait a minute, why am I doing this and my brother doesn't? But hopefully it'll be okay. God knew, obviously, Connor's going to handle it well because he gave our next baby a baby without club feet. So obviously Connor's going to handle it pretty well, because if he wouldn't, God would give both babies club feet so they could bond over that and help each other. So I just knew, I was like, whatever Connor needs best is what God will give him. So that's just what it is, and it's been amazing. And we can give him a bath in a normal bath. It doesn't have to be like a tub. It can be like one that you just put water and it drains out, and they're not as cold, and he can fit in car seats and strollers and bouncers and swings. Connor missed every bit of that. We can take car rides as long as we want because we don't have to worry about him being in a bar from his brace. I'm so excited. So those are the good news. Let me show you a few pictures from this. Sorry to ramble. This is very close up. Baby's head, body. His face is a little towards my spine. He was a little stubborn. The feet. This is what were most important to us. She kept saying it was a gender scan, not an extremity scan, but I said, I already know the gender, so this is what we're going to do because we're paying out of pocket. So, you can kind of see from here, that's a foot, leg, foot flexed up, foot, the shadow of that one flexed up. And there is no curvature, there is no C shape of the foot, there's no bend at the ankle. They look 100% normal, which is the most exciting thing ever. With Cody's family, it's usually a 50-50 of who gets it. So, boy parts, leg in the middle. But yeah, so the clubfoot risk for this baby was 65%, which is really high odds. So it's, in Cody's family, it's 50% for each sibling, male sibling, which they're all males. So Cody got it, his brother didn't. His dad had it, his uncle didn't. Connor has it, this baby doesn't. And the problem with Connor having it first, being our first kid, you know, our very first kid was lost to early miscarriage in 2020, but with Connor being our first kid, the chances, our first living child, the chances increase if the first male sibling had club feet. So not only were the chances 50%, they were 65%. As our doctor told us, which makes sense. And knowing that before even getting pregnant, I was like, okay, well, we're gonna have 2 kids no matter what. So we are experts now, so I guess we can deal with it if we have to, and the rest is fate. So that's how it was. Thank you guys, and we are planning, Cody and I are planning in about a month, within the next month, to go on our little mini baby moon trip, just to celebrate, just like for a day adventure, to celebrate this baby. And I wanted to go once I started feeling better, which I am now. We'll have our anatomy scan, which hopefully will be perfect news, especially about his feet, just reconfirming just that, washing away the 5% of uncertainty. And yeah, it's going to be a wonderful month. So, and happy Valentine's Day. It's almost Valentine's Day, so. I'm 5 weeks behind at this point where I was in the year pregnant with Connor. So our pregnancies are 5 weeks apart. My pregnancies are 5 weeks apart in terms of that, because like this baby's due in July, Connor was due in June. So, alright. Thank you for tagging along. See you guys.